This is Math Studies, Lesson 8.1, and in this lesson we're going to review exponent properties. So an exponent is a simplified way of doing repeated multiplication. So if I wanted to do 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, that, it's a little excessive. I can use an exponent, which is a little tiny number up to, and I can do the number of times that I multiply something. That's the exponent. So if I have 5 2's, 2 to the power of 5 means multiply that 2 5 times. 3 times 3 times 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Basically I can go 3 to the power of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 3's, so 3 to the power of 8. And if I needed to figure out what 5 to the third was, I don't just do 5 times 3. That's a common error that I see. I would actually do 5 times 5 times 5, and I would get 125. But basically, whatever value you have, if it's raised to a power, you do that times itself. Oops, let me do this again. So we have an times an minus 1 times an minus 2 times a whole bunch of a's, however many a's there are. If I have negative numbers to exponents, I'm kind of going to do the same thing. I have one negative 1, so it's just negative 1. I have two negative 1s. Negative 1 times negative 1. Now remember, a negative times a negative is actually a positive. And if I had 3 negative 1s, I won't keep writing out the long version, but if I had 3 negative 1s, it would be negative 1, negative 1, negative 1. Well, the first two negatives would turn positive, but then the next negative would turn it back to negative. And if I had 4 negative 1s, it would go from negative to positive to negative to positive. So the kind of pattern is, if you have an odd exponent, like here and here, we noticed we had a negative answer. And when we had an even exponent, like here and here, we had a positive answer. So the odds gave us a negative, and the evens gave us positives. And we're going to just check that out again with the next answer, or the next set. Negative 2 to the 1 is negative 2. Negative 2 to the 2 is a positive 4. Negative 2 to the 3 is a negative 8. And negative 2 to the 4 is a positive 16. Now this is really important to pay attention to, because on your calculator, if I just do negative 2 to the power of 3, it's telling me negative 8, but that's not the correct answer. The calculator wants you to use parentheses whenever you take a negative to a power. Oops, I think I'm doing the wrong one. I meant to do the negative 2 to the power of 2. It's going to be a negative 4. Negative 2 to the power of is a positive 4. So depending on if you use your parentheses or not, it gives you different answers. So a couple more that we'll try. 5 to the negative 2. Whenever I have a negative exponent, it's the same as putting it upside down. Negative is 1. I can do 5 times 5 to get my answer of 1 over 25. Where I have a negative exponent, I reciprocate, I flip it over, and the negative goes away. If I have a negative in the denominator, I would then flip that to the numerator. I can write over 1, but usually we don't do that because the 1 is invisible in the denominator. Anything that's 0 is 1. So this would really be 1 over 1, and again we would simplify it to just anything to the 0 power is 1. So we have a bunch of different rules that are hopefully hopefully things you've seen before. There are a lot of exercises, but it's because they're pretty simple to do. So good luck with those, and please let me know if you have any questions.